Hi guys, the JazzieNerd here, and welcome back to another vlog. So earlier today, I was just goofing off. This is the last day of fall break. I was actually in my PJs most of the day today, and I was just doing some random things, and one of the videos I watched on YouTube earlier today got me kind of inspired to talk about some of the games I played when I was little. I mean, really little. And don't worry, these aren't all, like, Elmo's Counting Adventure, if that was ever even a thing. I don't know if that was a thing, I wouldn't know. So, when I was, like, 4 years old, and my sister was, like, 2 years old, we had this, you know how PCs were back then, like, boop, and boop, and boop, they were huge. Anyway, so this was in, like, 2000. And we had one of those really big desktop PCs, Hewlett-Packard one. And it had a whole bunch of games on it, like a whole bunch of 8 and 16-bit games on it. And one thing that sticks out to me is I remember they were filed under entertainment rather than games. Go figure, I'm assuming that was Dad's doing. It was like, and it was like 2, maybe 3 dozen games, believe it or not. Solitaire, Tut's Tomb, Free Cell, there was a golf game, whole bunch of puzzle games. I remember there was a path-building game that my mother was fantastic at. And then there was Rodent's Revenge. And I loved that game. I was so good at it. So, I did a little bit of looking online just before I sat down to record this, and so Rodent's Revenge came out in 1991. It was like 8, 16-bit game, fairly simplistic, just block pushing, strategy, survival sort of thing. You play as this little mouse sprite that would be in the center, at the start of the game, you'd be in the center of like a 10 by 10 box of little green blocks, and you have to push the blocks around, and there would be cat icons moving around the outside of the box, and you'd have to push the green blocks around and try and trap each cat icon in a 1x1 square. And once you trap them, the sprite would kind of dissolve, and then you could collapse the box you would trap the cat in, and once you trapped a certain number, you'd move up to the next level where you'd have slightly fewer blocks, faster moving cat sprites. And also, the cats could move diagonally, so that got in your way a little bit. I mean, for a long time, I was obsessed with that game. We'd do these, like, vocabulary crossword puzzles in my 5th grade language arts class, and I would actually play Rodent's Revenge in my head with the layout of the crossword. That's how obsessed I was with this game. There were so many good memories of that computer. There were these little caps that would go over each key on the keyboard, and one day my sister and I were in there, and we were looking at the keyboard thinking, okay, why are the keys arranged this way? And we popped off all the caps and put them back on in alphabetical order. Mom loves telling that story of how we came running out into the kitchen saying, Mom, we fixed it! She said, what did you fix? The keyboard! We alphabetized it! That's possibly my favorite memory ever. And I don't actually know what happened to that computer. We probably died, actually, because it was ancient. And then we moved on to playing on Mom's desktop, which, had all the standard stuff. Solitaire, Free Cell, Tut's Tomb, Spider Solitaire, Hearts, Spades, Checkers, Chess, Reversi, aka Othello, which you may be familiar with. It's a fairly well-known strategy board game that my dad and I used to play sometimes. We had an Othello board. This was an online version that I played sometimes, even though I wasn't supposed to because it required an internet connection, and Mom didn't want me going on the internet because I was like 8 years old. And, she bought a few games for that. We had the Incredibles game. Of course, we had Harry Potter. And then we had this game called Mega Mahjong. Hopefully you guys know what Mahjong is, the Chinese, tile matching game. This game was so crazy. It had like 100+ different tile layouts, several dozen different tile themes, backgrounds, music. It was so much to this game. I played it for so long and I never got bored. And then our CPU's disk drive got stuck shut while Mega Mahjong was inside it. Yeah, that sucked. So many old games that died. And oh, I forgot to mention one. I forgot to mention several, actually. The Hewlett-Packard PC era that we had a whole bunch of, kids games. We had, I don't know if any of you guys are old enough to remember Broderbund Game Company, but we had a whole bunch of things from them. Logical Journey of the Zoombinis is one that I remember that I always sucked at because I was like 4 years old and didn't understand the concept of logic. I used to always sit there and look over Dad's shoulder as he played and made it look easy and think, okay, how the heck is Dad so good at this? I think we still have Zoombinis lying around somewhere because Dad loved it so much. And then we had a couple of Land Before Time games, Land Before Time and Land Before Time Math Adventure, which were just, a whole bunch of mini games lumped together. They were all right. I mean, Land Before Time had a trivia game that I could play for hours. Even though there were only like 12 different questions, I would just play, keep answering the same question over and over and over again. Because I'm like that. And then there was Dinosaur Adventure, which is a game that I would honestly want to let's play if it wasn't so dang repetitive, because it was kind of really repetitive. It was, just a exploration game of this island that was split up into 3 parts, each one representing one of the eras of the age of dinosaurs, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. And you would explore, and you could answer trivia questions to collect dinosaur eggs, and then you'd play mini games to get what the game called hatch crystals. 3 crystals would allow you to hatch the egg and get a baby dinosaur that would end up helping you at the end. There was a story to this game. Don't worry, there was a story to this game. Something about a rampaging T-Rex that you stopped in actually a rather comical way. And I love that game so much. There were 6 mini games, Scrambled Eggs, which is basically Mahjong, a skeleton building puzzle game, Triassic Tar Pits, which was a little bit like Frogger, except instead of cars going back and forth, you would have to cross a lake of tar by jumping on various things that were floating in it, and sometimes they would sink, and you had to be quick. I was so good at that one. I love that game. I love that game. That's probably the next I'm going to go looking for on Amazon, to be honest. I loved it so much. How long have I been recording for? Eek! This has turned into my longest vlog so far, because I've been rambling about all the games I played when I was a kid. Sigh. Anyway, I'm going to end this here before I talk all night. If you enjoyed this video of me rambling, head over to my YouTube channel, The JazzieNerd, check out some of my other videos, and if you enjoyed those, hit the subscribe button, because it's a big help. I will see you guys back here on Thursday for the final Pokemon quiz. Until then, stay jazzy.